Welcome to another edition of Watching the Game. I'm your host, Idrees Mohammed Kademi, joined by Yunis Fruch, and soon to be joined by Odeh Isa. Another
Oh,
eventful weekend, I would say. Let's just dive right into it. Starting Saturday morning with the first El Clasico of the season, in which Real Madrid won 3-1. Some controversy with the one penalty call, but I think we can agree it was a penalty.
yeah, we can agree that was a penalty. I mean, I forgot who was holding Ramos back, but that was clearly a tug on his jersey and a clear penalty.
Mm. I think it was Clement Lenglet. Um, I mean, for the most part, it started with a bang. There were two goals in the first 10 minutes. I mean, like,
An electrifying start for both teams. I honestly thought it would be more competitive than it was. I mean, it still was, but I thought Barca would have at least two goals or so.
mm. So we start with that, and then for the rest of the first half, mostly defensive battle. A couple of chances for both teams, but the goalies were both great. Courtois was cutting out all the through balls for Barca,
Yeah,
yeah.
Courtois
And then
stepping up for Real.
Neto was playing for Ter Stegen, and honestly, I mean, he honestly
Honestly,
saved
let's
them. He saved them a lot of times.
yeah, he did.
Then, like we said, the penalty, Ramos converts. They're up 2-1,
Let's talk about the
and
first
then
goal, Real's goal.
oh my,
Karim Benzema
that
through
was
ball to Valverde.
an amazing finish. Oh my God, he buried that in the top of the net. You can't
Yeah, and
really ask.
then Barca strikes back. 2 minutes later, Jordi Alba pushes the ball and through balls it low to Ansu Fati. And the youngster, 17 years of age, strikes in El Clasico.
I mean, it's kind of funny because Fati is like Barca's best player right now. Outside of Messi, he
Yeah,
really is. And then,
in Messi's production in that game wasn't really there. He attacked a couple times, but they weren't very successful.
mhm. And honestly, Barca kind of messed up because they didn't make any change until the 82nd minute or something. And at that
Yeah,
point, it was basically too late. Plus, um, they took out Fati, which I was like, why would you
I
do that
mean,
now?
have Griezmann on your bench. Why in the world would you wait 82nd minute to put him in?
Yeah,
At least like 65th, 70th, maybe.
just waited
Come
too
on.
long. He didn't. I don't even think he touched the ball.
Yeah. And also, as you said, they took out Ansu Fati, the most electric player on the team, hottest player on the team, and they took him out. So that just diminishes their chances of comeback. And
Mm. And then Modric closed the game out, 90th minute goal. He completely dummied Neto and finished with his right foot. His second banger this week. After
yeah,
the
he
goal against
absolutely
Sheffield.
iced that game.
Oh my God,
He shoot that with
Modric.
his outside foot, right?
Yeah, both with right foot, but it was like he was kind of leaning that time.
Yeah.
So honestly, I was surprised he could finish it the way he did. But I mean, he is one of the better players out there. Uh,
Yeah, he's a former Ballon d'Or winner.
it's kind of funny because Real had lost their Champions League game this week, and Barca had won, but then Real beats Barca. So I mean, honestly, Real's still better than Barca. They'll probably win La Liga this year, but I'm not so sure about Champions League for either one of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it was a much needed win for Real. They play the Borussia. I'm not even gonna pronounce that, but one of the Bundesliga teams, other Borussia team tomorrow. I think if they win,
Mönchengladbach.
everyone will stop the rumor that they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I feel you. Um, And then what's it called? There was also what's it called? Man U Chelsea, but that game was for the most part uneventful.
The highlight of the game was the meme. One of the Man U defenders has a Chelsea player in
Oh
a
my god,
chokehold. Literally.
that was hilarious. I don't understand these refs, man. Like it
And these
was.
refs just stick to VAR, but the obvious calls they don't call nowadays.
Oh, no, it never makes any sense. But yeah, basically nothing good came out of that situation. Nothing positive really came out of that game. Manu still continually
Ended
slow
full time in a
starting.
draw. No goals scored. Pretty entertainless.
Cavani made his debut. Didn't do anything though, so
Yeah.
I would root for that. All right, moving on. The World Series continued this weekend.
Another
And
phenomenal game.
now it's 3-2 in favor of the Dodgers before Game 6 tomorrow. So I think so. They won Game 3 Friday night. Game 4, it looks like they have it in the bag. 2 outs, 1-2 count, and then all hell breaks loose because they're
Yep.
winning.
And Tampa Bay comes back.
And then Brett Phillips, this dude I've never heard of before, who
Yeah, I
apparently
heard he is a bench player. He's supposed to come in for like base running,
I don't think
and
he
then he came
even.
in to pinch hit.
I think that was like his first hit of the World Series or something. He just pops the ball up, it falls, they get 1 run, and then center fielder Taylor fumbles the ball. It's like, oh crap, maybe they can score a second. And then Rosarena's sprinting. He trips. He trips the last 40 feet.
He stumbled, man. He absolutely fell. That
And it's
was
just
like a
like,
Shaq
oh
and a
no,
fool.
it's gonna go to extras. And the throw comes in, Muncy grabs it, he fires it home to Will Smith, and he just never. I thought originally like he had it, he just lost it. He just never grabbed it. He rushed too
A
fast.
disclaimer, guys. This is not Will Smith, the actor. This is
This
Will
is
Smith, the catcher.
this is a like he's. I understand he thought Rosarena would be right there, and technically he should have if he hadn't fallen. But he just rushes it, and then the ball bounces away, and Rosarena can just basically flop his way to home, and they win. It was, oh my god. It was,
I mean, I'm expecting another wild one in Game 6. Tampa won't lose without a fight. And I actually think Tampa's going to come with an upset, and it'll go to 7 games.
I just think it's been this close
All right,
all series.
tomorrow.
It's been close in all the games, basically. Especially these last 3. I do think they'll win tomorrow. But I have no idea who's gonna. I mean, the Dodgers are going with a bullpen game. They have to keep Bueller for the last game. Snell
Yeah.
should be able to feast in this pitching matchup, and then they're gonna leave it up to Bueller versus what's his face, Charlie Morton.
Yeah. I think the projected starters for tomorrow, I'm not really sure. I think it's
Snell for
Tony
the Rays.
Gon for the Dodgers.
I mean, it's just like I don't know. I have no idea. I do think the Rays will win Game 6. I don't know about Game 7. They probably won't have Snell that game. Morton has been good, but
Yeah.
wasn't good last game. Glass now hasn't been that good either. I could really see this go both ways. Bro,
Props to Tampa for taking it this far
shout
in the
out
postseason.
Rosarena has the record for most hits and home runs in a postseason now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. Isn't he a rookie?
Yeah, it's unreal. I don't think we've seen something like this ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's respect to that. Even if they lost, like. Also, shout out Kershaw. He's been fantastic this World
Clayton
Series.
Kershaw's been dominating on the hill, pitching about 5-6 innings a game
Unlike the
and dominating
usual.
like 2 hits less.
Yeah, unlike the usual where everyone's like, "Oh, he sucks," and all, he's actually been very good. So I mean, respect to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know which way this goes in 7, but I do think it will go 7. Moving
Hello,
on.
and our associate has
Yes,
joined us. Welcome,
Odeh
Odeh.
joins us finally. Um,
Welcome back to
just what did you
We already
just?
started, right?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to quickly before we talk about the NFL and college football games that happened. I do want to quickly shout out. I think probably won't fight again. So Khabib retires 29-0. He beat Justin Gaethje this weekend. Just locked him up. Had locked him with his legs like 3 times before he had to submit, and then he announced his retirement
Dominant victory.
afterwards. Kind of unreal.
Very dominant victory for Khabib.
It's honestly too bad that what's it called? It's too bad. I was
I
hoping he
mean,
would go for 30-0.
yeah, I was hoping he would rematch McGregor as his last
Okay.
game, but I mean,
Nah,
I don't know.
I wouldn't want to watch that. I would want to watch him fight like I don't know the next great guy. Maybe Gaethje again. Definitely not McGregor. I'm sick of McGregor at this point. It is what it is. But
Yeah. Oh, wait, didn't McGregor retire?
I don't know. They always say they retire, but then they don't. But I think Khabib was being serious.
Yeah, I think he is too.
It is too bad. But also he was barely making weight, so we could understand like why he was definitely getting near it.
Yeah.
But honestly, great career. I'm also sick of all these pay-per-view things. This is why I don't follow fights that much, because freaking pay-per-view is the dumbest thing out there. It's so
Yeah,
annoying.
man, you could easily watch that game like on a free stream online.
Even though
Pay-per-view
they
is
are
just
they are illegal, but it is what it is. Anyway, moving on.
to the sports world. Doesn't matter as long as you're not doing really anything illegal.
Bruh. Alright, whatever. Alright, let's move on to the NFL games. Let's just start right away with the Sunday night thriller. I mean, oh my god, what a game. The Cardinals ended the Seahawks undefeated season 37-34 in overtime. I was convinced this game was going to end 34. You remember that game? The Sunday night game between these two teams? I think it was 2015. It was 6-6. And it ended 6 to
Oh
six
yeah, I
because
remember.
the kickers
Yeah, I
kept
remember that
missing
game.
field
It was
goals.
6-6 tie, right?
6-6, yeah.
Both kickers mistaken.
It was both kickers missed field goals in overtime. And then I thought the second he missed the first field goal, I was literally like, it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again, but this time it's gonna be 34-34. That's what I was thinking. But then,
I mean, I expected a high scoring game. Seattle's defense is probably, I think they ranked it like 25th best. I mean, they're out.
Seattle needs to
They're
trade
without.
for a defensive end ASAP. Oh my god, they need a defensive end so badly.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, I think the first sack in the game came in overtime. Am I right?
Yeah, I think there was one for both teams in overtime, or two for Arizona in overtime, one for Seattle. And the one for Seattle wasn't even really a sack. It was like Kyler just went the wrong way on a play.
Yeah. And then that's when they called on Zane Gonzalez to end it, but
Kicking a
Seattle had
field
a
goal on second down. Never kick a field goal on second down. This is not that hard. Just wait.
yeah. I mean,
That was a new
if you
move.
wanted to do that, at least like run the ball for about 2 yards, stay in bounds. and then kick the field goal on fourth down. They could have had 2 more shots.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then after that you have like what's it called? They get the ball back. They're driving to midfield, and then I know Vance Joseph wasn't a good coach with Denver, but oh my god, those blitz packages that he sent, 3 straight plays.
Yeah.
So the first two confuse Russ. He throws quick incompletions because he just has to get the ball out. You know, he just has to. So he just gets it out there, and then third down, they score. The DK, what's it called? The DK screen. He scores, but there's a hold.
It gets called back by David Moore's holding.
I mean,
you know the thing about Vance Joseph's defense, when he disguised all. If it looked like a cover 0, basically there's no safety. It's a man on man. He disguised it. He blitzed sometimes and he played zone sometimes, which was pretty smart of him.
So he brought 2. So beginning of overtime, the first sack they got, he disguised blitz 0 blitz again, cover 0. He backs off. He brings the nickel corner Byron Murphy, and he gets to Russ because Russ has to hesitate. He's like, "Oh God, wait, this guy's actually blitzing, not the other two." I was like, "Oh, okay." Then he gets 0 blitz, and then Russ thinks, "Oh, it's gonna happen again." So I'm gonna get her out real quick. And honestly, if it was a 0 blitz, he made the right play, but it wasn't. He dropped out again, and Isaiah Simmons got the interception.
Isaiah Simmons was probably the best play defensively all this year. He read that perfectly, dropped back the perfect time, and got the interception.
He hasn't been playing that much so far, but he's still a rookie.
Yeah.
And then
don't need to get those
rookie coming out of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I expect him to be the top one, if not the top, then one of the top players from that draft.
I do think so, yeah, but not yet. There's still time before he gets there. The screen where he scores, the screen where DK scores, honestly, it's like David Moore should have realized earlier in the game. Did not watch DK Metcalf chase Buda Baker down 90 yards when he was behind him by at least 20 yards and tackle him. An amazing play, by the way. He didn't need to hold the guy there. If he pushes him back, DK probably outruns him and scores.
Yeah.
Exactly. And DK is not known as a speedster. He's one of those buff, strong, and tall receivers. And he just chases down Buda Baker down the sideline.
4.35 though. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think he ran his max speed was about 22.6 miles an hour.
Crazy. It's ridiculous. I know Russ threw 3 picks, but I still think he's the MVP frontrunner because honestly, sure he has one bad game, but he was decent the rest of the game.
And he passed for over 320 yards, honestly, ran for over 50.
Every single
did pretty good.
Every single MVP candidate so far has had a bad game. Russ's was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Rodgers against Tampa, Brady against the Bears, Josh Allen. Well, Josh Allen I think is firmly out of the running. He's had 3 straight bad games.
Yeah.
So it's still between Rodgers, Russ, and Brady. Is there anyone I'm missing? I feel like maybe No, not Roethlisberger. He hasn't really done enough.
I don't know if you want to put Kamara in there, an MVP race.
Nah. Maybe. No receivers going off like crazy. No running back is going off like crazy. So, yeah, right now it's just between the quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, after that Sunday night game. Last thing before we move on. Seattle needs to trade for a defensive end ASAP. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Everson Griffin, Carlos Dunlap, Ryan Kerrigan, do it. You need one very bad. Honestly, trade for 2. That's how bad
Exactly. They just realized how valuable Jadeveon Clowney was, and they
he
lost a
should have
big
stayed
part of their
with them.
defense.
I wish he had stayed with them. All right. Then the next game. Let's go to the early window, which was honestly very entertaining. A lot of close games.
I think this early window was the best early window of the year so far.
There was a Thursday night game. The Eagles beat the Giants 22-21. Quick recap. Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones both sucked. Carson Wentz made the plays in the fourth quarter, though, and that was the difference. Daniel Jones did not. Though also, he got screwed over because Evan Ingram dropped a pass that would have ended it, basically.
And he also could have scored an 80-plus yard touchdown run, but trips at the 10-yard line.
Well, they ended up scoring on that drive, so it didn't matter. But that was funny. And then, then we got the Packers who beat the Texans 35-20. God, the Texans.
Huge game by Adams.
Devontae Adams monster. Frankly, I didn't watch that much of this game, but every time I switched over, I would just see Devontae Adams being pressed up by. The Texans don't have very good cornerbacks, so you're pressing up on him with a not very good cornerback, and they have nobody over the top to help him, double team him. What do you honestly expect is gonna happen?
Yeah. We all knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to lose 2 games in a row. And Devontae Adams popped off. Houston realized early in the game that Adams was basically the only target of Rodgers. And did they adjust to it? No.
This is what I don't understand. If you're going to play Green Bay and nobody is beating you, if the only guy who's beating you is Devontae Adams, it's like, what are you scared of double team? Yeah, I know Rodgers is great. I know he is. But even then, if you look at Rodgers in 2018, 2017, he was good, he wasn't great. He was good but not great. You know why? Because his receivers were also playing bad those years. And honestly, and when his receivers don't get open, when you double team Devontae Adams, more often than not, he's going to try to throw the ball away. Because the other guys on the team, they're not going to be able to beat single coverage.
Exactly. And Houston had an advantage, not really an advantage, but they were lucky that Aaron Jones was out that game, so they didn't really have to worry about the backfield. And even if Rodgers threw it to Tanyan, I mean, his main man is Devontae Adams, so if you don't stop that, you're not going to win the game.
And just ridiculous all around. Then you got the Browns who beat the Bengals in a 37-34 clash. This was one of the close games that we were talking about. Probably
one of the best battles of Ohio the past decade.
5 lead changes in the fourth quarter.
Great game by Burrow, man. As a rookie, throwing for over 400 yards. Had 3 touchdowns passing and had a rush touchdown.
Dude, the future is bright.
He's having issues with the turnovers. He threw an interception in the past 4 games. 2 interceptions of them, 2 of those 4 interceptions in the red zone. And he's had trouble with the ball, fumbling.
He needs an O-line. If they can get an O-line and a defense, then I think they could be a playoff team. Because that offense is really good in terms of Joe
it has potential.
Joe
T.
Mixon,
Higgins,
and
AJ
that
Green.
wide receiver core is really nice too.
Exactly, and it refers back to Burrow saying, I think it was after their Week 2 loss against the Browns, he said that he hates losing, and we see that mentality in him. Just frustrated with his team, especially his old line.
So Baker on his first throw, he threw a pick, and
Short of 0 for 5.
Odell tears his ACL on that play, unfortunately, which really just really sucks because honestly, the Browns could have been a deep playoff team without Odell. I don't think they are. I think they're just a wild card team, but it would have been really interesting to see. So he starts 0 for 5 with a pick in the first quarter. He ends the game completing 22 straight passes, though I think 22 out of 23, but the one incompletion was a spike. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns, right? 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 5 passing touchdowns.
including a beauty to Donovan Peoples-Jones to win the game. I mean, it was like all the Browns fans just flipped on him. Like right first quarter, man, Baker, you suck. We're gonna need a new QB. The rest of the game, oh my god, it's like, yeah, sure, people are trying to discount him because it's the Bengals. Sure, the Bengals aren't that good, but regardless,
What he did
that was a
good.
fantastic game from him.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was a great game from both quarterbacks.
Honestly,
And adding on to what you said about the Browns being a wild card team, I mean, they're getting Nick Chubb back in about 3 weeks, if I'm right. They're out with they're out. Don't have OBJ with them for the rest of the year, but I mean, if Chubb and Hunt have something going together, I mean, maybe they could go second round.
They honestly might just start putting. They'll probably, when Chubb comes back, they'll probably start splitting Hunt out wide and have Hunt and Chubb like on the field at the same time, with Chubb and running back and Hunt like sort of that wide receiver slot type position.
yeah, I feel you.
Especially if they don't trust the other options that they have.
Rashard Higgins
Which I mean, they
has,
look. The
Rashard
others
Higgins
look
has
good
really good
yesterday.
chemistry with Baker, and
Yeah.
Donovan Peoples-Jones looked decent. So it
And
hurt.
that other dude, Harrison Bryant or whatever.
Harrison Bryant stepped up because Austin Hooper was out with an injury or an illness, one or the other.
They still have plenty of weapons, even without Odeh.
Yeah, even without OBJ, but they won't have that definitive number one unless Jarvis Landry can step up into that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Landry's gonna have to step up. He hasn't really done a lot so far this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that Hail Mary, honestly, that was pretty close because I've seen AJ Green catch 2 Hail Marys that get tipped like that.
Yeah,
So I was
I'm
convinced
surprised
he
he
could catch
could have made a play.
All right. Then we got some irrelevancy here. Washington beat Dallas 25-3. God, I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys. Just they suck. Everything about them sucks. Washington might be Washington and Philly for the division. I don't think Dallas has a chance. This team sucks.
This team is awful. But you know what it does do is it helps Dak's MVP case.
Bro, Dak is gonna ask for $50 million.
And they'll pay him, trust me. They're gonna pay him.
They have to. They've honestly they've screwed themselves, honestly. They should have just given him the 5th year that he wanted. Because they were offering him nearly the money he wanted, but they just never gave him the 5th year that he wanted. Or no. I think he wanted.
He
wanted 4 years, but they only gave him 5. What were you saying?
Do you think he sees what happened this year because he didn't have an offensive line? He takes a pay cut so they can get an offensive line.
They have an offensive line. They're just all injured.
Yeah, they're all injured.
That is true, yeah. But what I seen, it was like every single one of their offensive linemen is now, every single one of their offensive line positions is down the back.
Yeah, there's one O lineman who hasn't gotten injured, and it's Connor Williams, who's their second worst offensive. They have 3 really good offensive linemen: Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Lyle Collins. Smith and Collins are out for the season. Martin has been in and out of the lineup. Connor Williams isn't that good. He's okay. And then Joe Looney's been bad, but he's also been injured, so.
Yeah, this team.
Even if they weren't injured, they would be bad.
Tank. This season's lost, tank. There's no point.
Alright, then you got
the... even if they do make the playoffs... Honestly, this division is so bad that a team could make the playoffs and still have a top 20 pick, right?
No,
not even. Like
No, they would.
Bro,
assuming they lose in the first round, they would have the 19th pick.
But they do it off record, I thought. So even
they do. But if you make the playoffs, then you're automatically in the bottom 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that sucks.
Because could you imagine win the division with 5 wins, you make it to the playoffs and you have a top 15 pick.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. All right, then you got the Bills beat the Jets 18-10. The Bills didn't punt.
Game of field goals for Buffalo. A game of field.
Score a touchdown. Their kicker went 6 for 8. How many times does Seattle has a lot of teams.
Not.
A few teams haven't
How do you
even
not get in the
attempted
end
8
zone?
field goals in a game.
Okay, but like, how do you not get into the end zone against the Jets? I think we're not
Exactly.
talking
That's
about
what I was confused.
The Bills are struggling, honestly.
What has happened to Josh Allen? Like, did something significant happen to him? Like, he went from MVP contention in the first 3 or 4 games, and now he's struggling.
I always
He
thought
doesn't even get in the end
MVP talk
zone
was
against.
MVP talk was always.
I mean, ever since that Tennessee game, he's been slowly deteriorating.
The MVP talk was always too much, so I wouldn't really think it's too big of a deal.
Do you guys think Buffalo is still gonna win the AFC East?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, Miami is gonna hang in
Depends on
there.
how Tua
Dolphins
looks,
all the
bro.
way,
I don't
baby.
know if Tua can.
Actually, I don't know either. But if Tua plays good, shoot, it's over with.
Here's the thing: Tua's first career game is against Aaron Donald and the Rams defense. So, are you gonna judge Tua's performance just based off of that game?
It's one game. You can never judge a rookie's performance off of one game. You know, I went to Mitchell Trubisky's.
You know, everyone.
I went to Mitchell Trubisky's debut, and he looked like a pretty good quarterback who made a couple of bad passes. And I thought we had a QB, and I was wrong. Okay, so no, you cannot judge him after the first game. Anyway, yeah, the Jets are still irrelevant. Trevor Lawrence is incoming. I think.
Dude, Trevor Lawrence is better. Who was that dude that refused to play for the team that had the first overall pick?
Eli.
And he demanded a trade?
Eli, John Elway,
He's got to do that, bro. There's no way. Like, I would refuse to go to the Jets.
I could see that. He
Once
has the power. He's good enough.
Unless they, I'm gonna be like, Jets, you want me? Fire Adam Gase, or else I'm not coming to play with you guys.
But
they probably will fire Adam Gase. I think at this point they're just leaving him so they could tank and for sure guarantee the first pick. I think that's the only reason why he's still there.
They're 0-17. Like, they're all.
So you think that's the first thing the Jets are gonna do in the offseason? Fire Gase?
Oh,
I mean, the first order of any team is: do we fire the coaching staff? That's why there's Black Monday. I honestly think there's gonna be 7 head coaching vacancies. There's already Houston and Atlanta. I think there's going to be Detroit, the Jets, Cincinnati, Dallas. I think Mike McCarthy needs to go. He's already terrible. And
I think Doug Marrone of Jacksonville needs to go as well.
Marrone too.
Yes.
So that's seven open spots. That's what I'm thinking. But obviously it's still kind of early in the season. All right, then
something like that.
Then we got the Saints beat the Panthers 27-24. Bro, like the Panthers, they're just a tough team to play. You'll probably beat them, but you're not gonna put them away easily. And that's just how they are.
But credits to Matt Rule for changing that organization after Cam left.
I'm actually been surprised by them. They might. I don't know if I want to say that they might make the playoffs because the NFC is just so good.
I don't think so, honestly. Just because the NFC is too good, like you said.
If they won this game, then I would say they would make the playoffs. But this game was a tough loss. They played them close. I mean, DJ Moore, who I benched in 2 of my leagues, decided to go off. Had 2 pretty nice touchdowns, and then do you see the 65-yard kick that they attempted?
Dude, that was if it was a yard closer, that's in.
A yard short.
Yeah,
64, that's in. Like, oh my god.
It was right on center too, though. That's what made it crazy.
That would have been incredible. There was that funny clip where Bridgewater like runs out of bounds and he sits on the Saints bench.
Oh yeah, I saw that live. Drew Brees pushes him back on the field.
He's like, yeah, you're not with us anymore. Get out of here. You know who our future QB is? Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Dude, I hate Taysom Hill. Get him out of there, dude. All he does is pest Kamara's touches.
He's annoying as hell. He's really annoying.
He's not even that good. I think we already had this discussion, but he's not that good.
Terrible. He's really not good. It's just teams aren't used to seeing a guy like that. That's the only reason why he feasts.
Enough focusing on Taysom Hill, and we should talk about the thriller of the early window: Pittsburgh and Tennessee.
Two thrillers, but yes, this one. So, Pittsburgh was up 20. Pittsburgh was outplaying Tennessee all game. 27. They were up 27-7 halfway through the third quarter, and seemingly they had this team figured out completely. Tennessee didn't really stand a chance. Then they get a deflected pick. They score. A.J. Brown gets a 70-yard touchdown. They score again. The Steelers are driving at least to get a field goal, make it a 6-point game. Ben throws a stupid pass, gets picked. I don't know what he was thinking. And then
that third interception of his, I mean, it wasn't really his fault, you would say. I mean, it was a perfect placement. The receiver just put his hands on it, and then it just got tipped in the air.
Gostkowski.
He missed the kick too, right?
I mean, the thing is, it's so weird because they showed the stat. He's hit all of his field goals that are 50 and greater, but he's missed five or six field goals that are shorter than 50. He's just like Brett Maher was.
Stephen Gostkowski is now like the Adam Vinatieri, which Vinatieri retired last year. And I think
I wanted to get
after this up and down year.
I wanted to see that game go into overtime.
It would have been fun, but I also think the Steelers deserved that game. That was the Steelers receiving court again.
I don't know,
ridiculous.
Bro, that play, it was on the goal line. They hand it to Henry, and the backup, it's not even like the actual starter because Devin Bush tore his ACL last week. It's his replacement, and he just absolutely shoots the gap.
Yeah, that was incredible.
And tackles Henry. But then, when it shows you how powerful Henry is,
he got injured.
The dude walked off over his shoulder.
And he came back later, but it was just so funny. I gotta say, Pittsburgh, their defense showed again why it's great. It shut down the Titans for most of the game.
And defense is elite. Top 3 defense in the league goes to Pittsburgh.
The team is built well around Roethlisberger, in that the receiver he doesn't need to air it out and all. His receivers are amazing. If he just gets it to them, they'll make plays.
They're great at catch and run.
I think Dante Johnson missed the last 2 games. He comes back today, 9 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, and any one of them. This time, Claypool and James Washington, they didn't really do anything, but Juju and Deontay Johnson went off. The couple weeks before this, it was Claypool and Washington. It was oh my god. And Ray McCloud ain't that bad too. He almost had a punt return for a touchdown.
Can we just agree that Pittsburgh runs the most wildcats there in the game? Not even just wildcats, just jet sweeps. They do about a fifth, or no, maybe not a fifth. Maybe out of every 10 plays, they run a jet sweep. Hand it off to Ray McCloud or Chase Claypool. They get a pretty decent chunk out of it, maybe 5-6 yards.
Ray McCloud is really good. Another diamond in the rough for them. I'm very excited for that Steelers-Ravens game that's coming up, whether it's on Sunday night or not. God, I hope it's on Sunday night, or we might have some serious problems.
Dude, the NFL,
hates us.
They're idiots. There's so many like the Steelers, Ravens. Hell, flex us and the Saints if you really want to. Just don't keep it the Cowboys. Don't keep it the Cowboys and Eagles.
Third
Like
string.
even if these two teams were fully healthy, it would still damn near be a snooze fest.
Yeah. Then the last game of the early window, the Lions Falcons. Oh, it's really funny. We had the same exact situation play out on Saturday and Sunday. We'll get to the Saturday part.
No.
Yeah, we will get to the Saturday part soon.
No need.
But
no.
anyway, the funny thing is, so Todd Gurley scores, but he scores
accidentally
early.
scores is the key word.
The thing is, I know he scores early, and he tried to stop himself, and yeah, he leaves a minute on the clock for Matthew Stafford. But also, can you really blame him? Because let's be honest, they're still up a touchdown. The Lions still have to drive 75 yards in a minute.
No, but he's done it before.
Yeah, I agree with Odeh. He's done it before.
I know, yeah,
he's
I
more
know he's done it
you should know.
I know he's done it before with the Rams, and a lot of fantasy people were mad about that. I know he should have done it here. But, your defense, come on.
But that's the thing. That's the reason they didn't do it. Because nobody trusts Atlanta's defense.
Yeah, you don't. But that's the thing. He's so scared. You saw how he stopped. He's so scared to get in because he knows if I score, oh crap, our defense sucks. That's where your problem lies. Your problem isn't, oh, your running back should be more aware. Your problem is your defense is shit.
Exactly. That's the exact reason he wanted to stop himself, because he doesn't want to put the game in the hands of the defense. Because everyone knows that Atlanta's defense is, as you said, them preventing Matthew Stafford from a comeback was very unlikely.
Stafford is clutch, and we should give him credit for that, because that was a great drive too. He completed
a great throw by Stafford to diving Hawkinson.
3 bombs on that drive, but also it shouldn't have happened for many reasons. I really thought.
Can we agree that? Can we agree that the Falcons-Lions game had the best jerseys of the day?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know about the Lions jerseys. The Falcons jerseys are nice though. Someone was saying
if the Lions wore the Hawaiian blue jersey, it would have been nicer. But Atlanta, man, I always see them in those black jerseys. Those red jerseys are pretty nice.
I think I saw someone was saying, oh, you see the way how it fades down?
Yeah, I saw
it represents the Falcons game. Show up in the first 3 quarters and fade away in the 4th.
I thought this game would be a lot more high scoring. I'm not gonna lie.
It's so sad whenever they show Arthur Blank on the side of the field every time they blow a lead, and there's just too many of those. All right,
poor guy.
All right, let's run through the late window quickly. Some entertainment, but not really any close games. First, the 49ers blew out the Patriots 33-6.
Patriots suck.
Rip the Patriots. I really thought Cam would be very good.
I owe Tom Brady an apology. And yeah, because I thought, I'm gonna be honest, I was more on the side of Belichick carried Brady, not Brady carried Belichick. And now I'm slowly starting to reverse that.
I don't think they carried each other. I just think it was something that worked out. But once Brady left at the right time, when the team was starting to get old, fall apart, and then a lot of players left. It wasn't like, oh, Belichick just sucks without Brady. It's just a lot of people left.
True.
That's what I think. But yeah, it makes an interesting talk about should the Bears have signed Dalton or Cam instead of Foles. So far, Foles is winning. Then you got the Chiefs.
So that's the own apology to Ryan Pace as well.
Then you got the Chiefs, who beat the Broncos 43-16. First snow game of the year. That was fun. Finally started snowing here.
That was fun. Expected more miscues, but Kansas City was on point.
Did you guys see KJ Hamler in the pregame taking off his shirt?
Bruh.
Freaking warming up shirtless, bro. Well, that's really insane. Like, there's no reason.
That reminds me of I think it was 2018 Northwestern team
Oh
when they
yeah, I
practiced
remember that guy. That guy was amazing.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs got a pick. The Chiefs got a pick 6. Nah, Bubba. Nah.
Yeah, Chiefs got a pick 6 with Daniel Sorensen. Basically,
Then
the
they have a
Chiefs
kick
defense
return
carried
too.
She's on the way.
the Chiefs carried the Chiefs over the Broncos that game.
Yeah.
All right, and talking about the 49ers, man. Ralph Wilson just carried the Niners team, and the Niners defense just held Cam Newton to very little production.
We were having an argument about why the Niners weren't using Jerick McKinnon, and we had all started Jerick McKinnon. Freaking Shanahan.
It was so unfortunate. They said he was injured, but who? Like, no one told us this.
You never know. Sometimes teams are just like that. All right, then the the Chargers beat the Jaguars 39-29. Herbert literally is winning all the game against me in fantasy. It's very bogus.
I refuse to compliment Justin Herbert. Not ruining his career like that. Justin Herbert sucks. He's a bum.
All right, and then the last game, the original Sunday night game, the Buccaneers beat the Raiders 45-20. Brady went off, which is why everyone's talking about the Patriots now. Raiders teetering there, not so sure about
Josh Jacobs only had like 4 fantasy points. That's unacceptable.
All right. So tonight, Monday night game, the Bears are playing at LA against the Rams.
Bears.
I'm gonna say the Bears win 17-10. Low scoring game.
I agree with you there. It's going to be a very low scoring game. Defense is going to be the spotlight of the game, and I think it's going to be 13-7.
13.
Go 17-7. Actually, no. I gotta switch it up since you guys all picked us to win. I'll go 13-9. We lose.
Man, if we settle for 3 field goals, it's gonna be some problems. Alright.
I mean, we know how strong
guys,
both of these defenses are, so I don't really expect much from the offense.
Yeah, I feel you.
Listeners, do not worry. Idrees' 1-win record is still safe. And he'll drop to 1-6.
No, I might win actually if Allen Robinson if Allen Robinson has a good game. Tyler Higbee isn't gonna do anything. Trust me. You know what's bogus? I was gonna bench Jonnu Smith for Rob Gronkowski, but I swear I remember doing it, but I guess I didn't.
You know what's bogus? Michael Thomas didn't play this week, and that upset me.
Oh, I was gonna take Jerick McKinnon out for you. I forgot about that.
No, I was kidding about that. We'll deal with that later. I should have won.
Oh,
I could still win.
And then in Idrees' league, the relevant league, I'm beating him by 30. And we both have a player left.
I got Robinson and Bears defense. I got a chance.
Okay, right. But I have Montgomery, so it's fine. I'll be fine.
All right, moving on to our last segment. College football. So let's talk about the big games, the ranked games that were close. Oklahoma State beat Iowa State 24-21. Oklahoma State, so now there's only 2 teams left that are undefeated in Big 12 play. Oklahoma State and Kansas State. So if if the Big 12 wants a team in the playoff, they have to rely on one of those 2.
Yeah, I don't think any of the teams in the Big 12 will be able to last on to their rank, and none of the Big 12 teams will make the playoff.
I don't know, man. Still gonna believe in Oklahoma State. I mean, Spencer Sanders came back, and he looked pretty good. Like I said, Spencer Sanders, dynamic offense. Oklahoma State's defense is not a Big 12 defense. It's actually pretty solid.
Yeah, they were playing defense.
I don't see that.
They stopped playing with us.
All right. Then we got Michigan, Minnesota. So Michigan beat Minnesota 49-24. I think, and I know we've been saying this, but I think This year, going into the game, Michigan and Ohio State are both going to be undefeated. And I think Michigan has a pretty good chance at making the playoff. Don't it? I mean, I really think so. Joe Milton.
And I got no objection to that. Who do they play that's like going to be a great matchup for them? Test their
Wisconsin will
strength.
be tough.
At
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
And then obviously Ohio State in the last game.
Yeah. And yeah, Michigan have a pretty good chance to be a top 10 team.
Could definitely see it. Joe Milton looked pretty damn good. Alright, then you got North Carolina State. UNC won 48-21. I honestly thought this game would be kind of close, but also UNC is still very good, even though they lost last week to Florida State. That was kind of surprising.
Like, that was even anyone's fault. You can't believe it. They should have won that game. I'm so disappointed.
I mean, they almost came back too. They could.
Yeah.
I still see them beating Notre Dame later. I mean, that
Probably.
game.
I'm still not sold on it. I'm still not sold on Notre Dame. I just don't like Notre Dame. I don't think they're good.
I gotta say, I am so glad the Big Ten came back. I mean, it was a great opening weekend for the Big Ten, and it just shows that everything is better when they play. Cincinnati blew out SMU 42-13. Cincinnati is ranked number 9. Could we have our first non-Power 5 team? I mean,
No way.
I mean,
Do they have enough? They play SM.
they have to
beat
go
SM.
undefeated, and then they
already
need a
beat
bunch of
SMU,
teams to
right?
lose. So it's possible, but SMU was
Do
undefeated.
they have? But like, do they have like enough? Is there like enough teams on the schedule to where like it's quality wins though? Next week they play Memphis. Wait, they're up to number 7 now.
Oh,
And
they
it was
are ranked 7. They were ranked 9 going in.
Let's see who. Let's look at the poll. I want to see who they can leapfrog. Let's see. I don't know if Georgia slips up. They could leapfrog Georgia. Who's number 6? Oklahoma State is number 6, and Oklahoma State goes against Texas this week. So there's definitely a couple teams in front of them they can leapfrog, but they're gonna have to win out without undoubtedly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's always possible. It's always slightly possible. Like I said, Kansas State. I think Kansas State is 5-1 right now. Might be wrong, but they are the best team in the Big 12 outside of them, which is really funny because their loss was that stupid game to Arkansas State. The problem is Skylar Thompson, their dynamic QB, is out for the season. So
Fortunate, you hate to see it.
I really thought they would have had a chance if they had, you know. The SEC has been really weird. So Auburn barely beat Ole Miss this week. Missouri beat Kentucky, and LSU beat South Carolina, who had beaten Auburn last week. It's
And
like
we have LSU Auburn this week.
they have no idea. They don't want to. They can't figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's really funny, honestly. What else was there? My boys at Northwestern beat Maryland 43-3. That's what I'm
Big
talking
one,
about.
right? Big one.
Completely blew the tires off of Tua's brother. You know, that's what we're talking about right here. Let's see. Clemson had a bit of a scare against Syracuse, but they ended up beating them by 4 touchdowns. Coastal Carolina University is 5-0, 6-0.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Sun
It could
Belt,
be
bro.
Georgia Southern.
Fun Belt. That's what I'm talking about. Louisville beat Florida State. Oh, dude, Tyler Higbee is inactive. So yes, it has no points.
Swear.
I might beat him. I might beat him.
I just can't see Allen Robinson getting 20 plus points. I think most he gets, if he gets a touchdown, like 15. Because I don't think there's not gonna be a lot of yards this game, bro.
Man, if he gets two touchdowns, and I got it basically.
I have him. What's it called? I have him against you, or no, you have him against me. Oh crap, this is bad.
Yeah, but I need more in that league. But this is my key to winning tonight. In your league, I just need Robinson to get 19 points.
Uh-huh.
In my league, I need Robinson to get 20. I need Montgomery to not get more than 10. And I need the Bears defense to get 20. Which against Jared Goff is definitely possible. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's possible.
I think I'd cry. Legit.
We'll definitely see.
If you beat me this week, I will FaceTime you after the game. Literally, me like tears rolling down my face.
No. But if the Bears win, then it doesn't matter. I don't care. Listen, if I lose in fantasy tonight in both, I don't care that much.
That's how I was. That's how I was.
Like if David Montgomery has 500 yards and he wins it easily,
let him have 500 yards.
Like
that's how I was. 2018. It was Bears and Vikings. Remember when they flexed on Sunday night? I had like half the damn Vikings roster. They don't have questions. I don't know why. I had Dalvin Cook, Diggs, and Thielen, and we were completely dominating them. I was like, I could care less. I'm just happy that we're dominating these dudes.
All right, back to the topic. So a couple of other games to go on. Ohio State blew out Nebraska 52-17. Ohio State should have number 3 spot already locked up. So as long as they don't lose, they should be fine until the playoff. Rutgers meet Michigan State. God, Michigan State sucks. It's sad. You know, Greg Schiano should have never left Rutgers. This is the only place where he's been really good and really liked. He's always made Rutgers respectable at least, which is obviously a big achievement.
Bogus.
I'm just telling you how it is. Notre Dame blew out Pittsburgh 45-3. You know, Pittsburgh started out 3-0. Now they're 3-4. Kind of whack. I know their quarterback has been out though, so it is what it is. Alabama beat Tennessee 48-17. Texas.
The boys at Purdue.
Texas beat Baylor.
The boys at Purdue beat Iowa.
Purdue beat Iowa 24-20, and Purdue was without Rondale Moore too, but they have David Bell. So I assume they're just gonna recruit one electric wide receiver who plays like that every year now.
Not a bad strategy.
Number 19 Virginia Tech lost to Wake Forest 23-16. Damn, I liked Virginia Tech actually, but so far they haven't been that good. And then the last game to talk about, the most eventful game of the week.
And that's the end of today's episode. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later in the week.
To talk about Pennsylvania State at Indiana, and Indiana won in overtime, 36-35. One of the most bizarre games ever. All right, let me just recap this because it's unbelievable. So Penn State is losing for most of this game, 17-7. Then at one point, 20-7. They score a touchdown. It's 20-14. They score another touchdown. A coverage bust downfield for Indiana. Suddenly it's 20. It's 21-20. The thing is, Indiana really they weren't destroying Penn State offensively. Penn State was just turning the ball over a lot. And then Penn State gets a sack. They eventually force a turnover on downs, and they're already inside the Indiana 10-yard line. Indiana has one timeout, and there's like a minute 10 remaining. Just like Gurley, they let him score. He fails to stop.
Moron.
He fails to stop. He goes into the end zone. So they're up 7 at this point. Now, honestly, I think I understand why James Franklin didn't go for 2. Because if he went for 2, the game's over right there. But also, his defense had, for the most part, shut down Mike Penix and the Indiana team. So I understand not going for 2. Suddenly, they wake up offensively. They drive down. They score a touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion on a QB draw. Then in overtime, Sean Clifford gets a great touchdown pass to Parker Washington. Then Penix throws his own great touchdown pass. And they're like, you know what? We're going to go for it right here, right now. We're going to get it right now. And he stretches out, and I guess maybe the edge of the football crossed the line before it hit out of bounds and hit the pylon. It's so close. It's like, in those situations, I wouldn't have a ref call something. I would look at it on replay a bunch of times, then make a call.
Yeah, but the thing is, usually with how close, when it's that close, whatever is ruled on the field is what they're going to keep it as.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I agree with you. If it's that close on the field, just don't even call anything.
I do.
And just go straight to the replay.
I think if they didn't call it on the field, like if they had nothing, they didn't call anything, and they looked at it on replay, they would probably say
that would have been no good.
Yeah, they would probably say the ball hit the ground first, even though you could look from a different angle. It looks like a shade of the ball crosses the line. It's just so close. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a closer play than that ever. It was crazy. And now Penn State has to play Ohio State this week.
That's so depressing, man. Possible 2-2 start.
I'm venturing to say definite, but I understand.
I wouldn't say definite. My boys got this. Shock the world.
That's funny. That's very, very funny.
Ohio State's scary, man, but you can't go into any game thinking that you're going to lose. You play to win the game.
Of course. Firm for Herm. I do feel you. But that concludes...
How about... last thing before we go, how about Indiana jumping straight in the number 17 after being unranked?
I mean, the rankings are whatever. I don't care too much about them at this point, especially because half the teams have played like half their season, the other half just started, and you have some who haven't even started. So it's still completely out of whack. It's like every year I look at them, but I don't pay attention. This year, especially, I'm not going to pay attention until like the end of November.
This is facts. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Yeah, that concludes our episode for today. For Idrees Muhammad Qademi, I'm signing off. And we will be back with you later this week. Hopefully after a Bears victory tonight.
And Idrees lost 1-6, baby.
No, I didn't. We'll see what happens.